long shot. Jackpot, 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 jackpot. Riding around the block, shooting those shots.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Satchmoe Show. It's your boy Satch, and man, we are here with another video. And I'm not sure if you saw this, but the past few days I've been hosting a poll, and I was trying to figure out, man, who is the greatest fighter of all time. Not only that, we have some Vegas, a little talk about Vegas later in the episode. But let's go ahead and kick it off, man. So like I said, the GOAT talk, man. Who is the greatest of all time? And you know, it's very conflicted. You know, you got a bunch of guys up at the top. No one's really sure what it is. No one's even tried to figure it out yet. Everyone has their own opinions. Don't get me wrong. Everyone said who they think's the GOAT. No one's tried to get to the heart of it. That's what I'm doing right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I had 23 fighters. And, my fault. We had 20 fighters that I listed on there. And everyone voted their 1 through 10. And then, I calculated it, added it up. Did a little math there to figure out, the secret formula is going to remain a secret, how I figured out how to award the GOAT points. But I will tell you right now, there are 3 fighters that did not get a single GOAT point. That would be TD Holloway, Kratos MMA, Dino MMA. You know, they're clearly people that no one voted top 10, so very interesting there. The lowest guy to get a vote was Bang Bang. He got 2 GOAT points. Now, there was a couple people that voted for him first place because they were mad he was on there for some reason. You know, I can't even list the guy on there. But so I threw away those cards. If you had him at number 1, I couldn't implement your opinion because it's not true. So Bang Bang came in at 19. We had Nas had 3 GOAT points at 18. I'm just kind of rushing right through these first guys here until we get the top 10. Tied for 16 was Hammer and Dirty Dave. Papa Doc came in at 15 with 11. And then here's where it got close. 14 was Gamp with 18 GOAT points. And number 13 was Swiss with 19. And then tied for him was Ash with 19 GOAT points. And at 11, just missed it was JC21. Obviously, a great career JC21 had, but he left us too soon after the loss to Hammer.
A little bit of extra damage.
Boy, fuck you, you fat cunt.
I have no idea.
Maybe he'll make a comeback. You know, the ESFL's talked about unbanning him, but we'll have to see what happens. But at number 10, it's Izzy. And me personally, I personally would have picked either Gamp or JC over Izzy, but I understand why people picked Izzy. You know, he was the first to dethrone Zayev. Let's remember, people thought Zayev was unbeatable at this point because, he was a double champ and defending on both consoles, man, something we never seen. And everyone thought he was unbeatable. We were coming up on the break. We had 2 fights left, and Izzy said, hold up, wait a minute. Let me snatch that belt for the Christmas break, and that's exactly what he did. And we all know he's been going on a slump recently. Lost his last fight, but you have to admit he is one of the most talented strikers in the world. He was able to pick Zayev apart in defeat, and even though he didn't retain the belt for long, people will recognize the talent, and that's why he comes in at 10. And at number 9 with 32 GOAT points, this man's got it. If he's not in your top 10, I can't respect it. Trixie. Now I know Trixie. He just captured his first ESFL championship this season, and people might say, "Oh, why did it take him so long?" Let's not forget, this man was also the Venom champion, and he's been the primetime GOAT. So even though I'm not really counting primetime into my ESFL analysis, it is something we can look at. He was dominating primetime for a long time, and they've had top competitors. Don't just say, oh, it's just primetime. No, there's a lot of ESFL guys over there. He was on top. He was never able to get the opportunity in the ESFL until it arose fairly recently for him. But, at number 9 is Trixie, and right above him, fittingly enough, is Fatinator. He got 36 GOAT points according to these polls. Honestly, I think he's underrated. This guy is currently on an 8-fight win streak, including 4 title defenses. People don't realize how great that is. How many 8-fight win streaks, while you have the title nonetheless, 4 title defenses, how many fighters, you can count on one hand, how many fighters have 4 title defenses in a row. Very few fighters. This is a very rare occurrence. Just came out on top of a big tournament. Had to take on Dirty Dave, had to take on Trixie. These are 2 top guys, so we got to start putting some respect on his name. But at number 8, I think that's a solid ranking. Right above him, man, is Davikin. And everyone respects Davikin. You know, he's a great talent, and he's been a competitor for such a long time. It's hard not to put him there. He was a champion. Let's not forget, was champion a while ago. I want to say it was either late season 1 or early season 2, a little before my time. But, he's been like a top contender. He's had the talent, and we'll hear more about him later in the video because he's going to Vegas. So right above him, man, GOAT 1099. And, of course, this guy's hot right now. He's a current PlayStation champion, just dethroned Nas. And I mean, he was the first ever champion. So right now he's the first and right now the last. So there's a reason why he's ranked so highly in this poll. He's talented everywhere. He can get it done on the feet, can get it done on the ground. There's a good reason why he's here and coming in at number 5. And at number 4, this surprised me, Zayev. I thought Zayev was ranked a little higher. He did get one first place vote. He came in with 88 go points. He was the only guy to ever defend both belts simultaneously. There's been a few double champs, notably Suave Jamie, Blake Tyler. No, not Cam. Just those two. And then Zayev got it. And people seem to not understand. He was the one to defend both belts. Everyone else Conor McGregor'd it. This dude was going to Amanda Nunes, going up and down, fighting Xbox, PlayStation, and knocking kids out over and over again. And I will say the one thing about Zayev that he does differently, he will challenge himself in every fight he goes in. If fighting Ed Parker isn't enough, let's fight him Conor McGregor mirror match. If fighting Dirty Dave isn't enough, he's going to go ahead and mirror match with Bilal Muhammad, who definitely would advantage the wrestler. So when you see a guy out there challenging himself, and yeah, he dares to be great. He loses a lot of fights, but he dares to be great. And I think that's what you need. Personally, I rank him higher than 4, but according to this list, he is at 4. At number 3, we have Romero. He was voted in the top 10. These next 3 guys were all voted top 10 by every poll. Everyone understands how great Romero is, even though he's hiding in the shadows a little bit. He hasn't fought a lot recently. He will be showing up to Vegas, but when it comes to ESFL, hasn't fought in a meaningful period of time. And but no one forgets, that's the crazy thing about this guy. He just showed up on analyst desk last week. And, you could just hear that he has the knowledge for the game that not a lot of people do. And I feel like that's why people gravitate towards him. They understand that, every single poll had him in the top 10 for a good reason. And that's why he's number 3. Number 2, Suave Jamie. Suave Jamie came in at second, man. He had 4 first place votes. And there's a reason. First ever double champ. Everyone, you can beat records. You can get 13 title defense. You can get 14. You can't beat first. He was the first. He had an undefeated regular season so far in UFC 4. He's 13-0. And I mean, yeah, what else is there to say? Amazing striker. He did retire undefeated with the belt. He hasn't made an attempt to come back yet. Obviously, him and Zayev are tied at that 13 win streak. If Jamie gets a win here, he can break that record once again. So be interesting to see what he does. But until he does, I think this number 1 guy is going to say Blake Tyler. He had 7 first place votes. I mean, he's beating the who's who in this community. The Zayev, Fadinator, Gamp, Holloway, JC. Notably, the one person he didn't beat was Suave Jamie. But, people overlook that. He was a double champ in a time where, in my opinion, I thought it was the most competitive. The best fighters. He was on top. So he's almost the Khabib Nurmagomedov, you could say, on top when everyone else is killing it. And that's why he's number 1 on this list. Once again, I will remind y'all, this is not voted by me. Don't someone come here and come in my throat that your boy wasn't ranked number 1. This is the community poll. So community ranks Blake Tyler at number 1. And let's go ahead and get on, man. Let's talk about Vegas. And there's a game I like to play. You see it a lot when it comes to football, comes to basketball. Contender or pretender. Don't come at me, man. Don't shoot the messenger. Please don't shoot the messenger. If I say your guy's a pretender, doesn't mean he can't run the tables. That just means I think his odds are not as good as people think they are. But let's go ahead and get right into it, man. Zayev, contender or pretender? Contender, easily. I've seen people try and disrespect him. I saw someone on Twitter ask why he's a tier 1 fighter. Do I have to tell you why Zayev, the young prodigy, is a number 1? It's a tier 1 fighter. He's currently the favorite according to betting odds. And if you look at Vegas, I mean, it's between him and Jamie getting the most votes. This kid Zayev, like I said, throughout his ESFL career, he always used whatever the toughest match would be. If he said Bilal Muhammad, that's going to give this guy the best chance to win, then I want to go Bilal Muhammad. That's something you got to respect. And when it comes to money, people don't play about their money. And I can see Zayev really coming out here. We don't know his best fighter. That is a scary thing. We don't know whether he's best with Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, Israel Adesanya. We don't know what this kid's going to bring out. And that's what makes him the biggest threat. Not only can he get it on the feet, he can get it on the ground. And you know what? There is one thing that he has to prove at this tournament. The most to prove, I say, is Zayev. And that is because the ping merchant is coming to town, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone always says they lose his life. Oh, he's a ping merchant because he lives in California. Listen, everyone's going to be in the same place. There will be 0 ping. This is his time to shine. If he loses bad, if he doesn't make the Elite 8, the Final 4, there's going to be questions raised about how good is he really. However, I think he's an extreme talent, and I think he gets it done. Moving on, next on the list is Romero. I say contender. Once again, Romero, straight dog. He can beat anyone on any given night. And normally I would say, like I said, in my GOAT versus Nas analysis, I said I thought Nas would win because GOAT had been, there was a meaningful period of time that passed between his last fight and that title fight he was going up to. I thought it'd be too quick. He got it done. And I'm going to say, if GOAT can get it done, I personally think Romero can get it done as well. Romero is one of those guys, man, that just has a talent and a feel for the game. And I think, like I said, that's who I pick. If I put my Satch dollars on Romero, I think he's the one who gets the win. But like I said, there's a reason they have this tournament. You never know who's going to win. And moving on the list, Suave Jamie, pretender. Don't shoot the messenger. Listen, I'm not saying Suave can't win it. I'm saying y'all are drastically overrating his odds. I've heard from Jamie himself in the past 2-3 months, the reason he hasn't came back to the ESFL is because he didn't have that talent anymore. He stopped playing the game for a meaningful period of time, and when that happens, you regress a little bit. Jamie, and like I said, Romero, they both have been away from, a meaningful period of time, but Romero said that, he still thinks he can get it done. I heard Jamie say himself he doesn't have the talent anymore to keep up with these guys, and that's why he doesn't come back to the ESFL. He doesn't want to risk that undefeated record. And if you're not willing to be great, I can't put my trust in you that you're going to get the job done. For that reason, I think Suave Jamie is a pretender. I'm not saying he's not going to be in the final 8. I'm not saying he can't win it. I'm just saying through my eyes, I don't think he does. Moving on. And now after that, I'm going to catch some beef. Prioxis, contender. Listen, ESFL and Prioxis, they've had their beef for a long time. Not the ESFL, the administration, but the competitors have had a lot of beef with Prioxis. They're just jealous. This guy's got a big following, and they don't see him as talented. We do know we lost the Bang Bang when they matched up, but you have to realize Prioxis' game is built on head movement and hitting him where it hurts. You know what I'm saying? This guy, he's got some good combinations. No one can hold that against him. Prioxis is a fantastic striker. If you disagree, you just don't understand the game. And while his grappling may be a weakness of his compared to these ESFL guys who they train and they get really good at grappling, when you face a guy like I said, Zayev, even though the money's on the line, they fight with their balls and not with their mind. If a guy says, I can outstrike you, they're going to say, I bet you can't. And they're going to stand up and have a gentleman's fight and not get dirty, not clinch, not take it down. So for that reason, I can see Prioxis running home with a bag, just a bag full of money and getting that championship. So, almost forgot to say, there's also Zero Ping, if I didn't mention that earlier. And if that's going to advantage anyone, it's going to advantage the counter strikers and punish the pressure fighters. So a guy like Prox is everything in the world going for him that match, and I see him potentially winning this. Next up is Dabikin. I gotta say pretender. I'm not sitting here saying I don't respect Dabikin's skill. He has a great skill, but at the end of the day, right now he sits at 5-4 in the ESFL, and that's mediocrity. I know he's fought tough competition, but 5-4 is mediocre, and I don't think mediocre is going to get it done. I see Dabikin making the final 8 people. I don't see him running the tables. When you're a guy who is middle of the pack, it's going to take a big leap to be able to defeat a guy like Zayev. I'm not saying he doesn't have the talent. He clearly does. There's a reason he's been the champion, but he has fallen off a little bit recently, and it's going to be a toss-up whether he can get it done or whether he's going to struggle heavily. So we'll have to find out. And finally, I have to bring this up. EK Warrior. Ladies and gentlemen, no disrespect to the EK community. I love you guys, but I don't think he gets it done against the top dogs, man. Like I said, the only reason I'm bringing this up is because, I've had a couple back and forth with EK guys on Twitter because I gave him plus 2,100 odds of winning the tournament. And I would take that back, saying I apologize for disrespecting him if one person bet on him. Not one person. Not an EK guy. Not just a random fan. Not someone that's throwing their money around. Not a Zayev with 10,000 Satch dollars put a single dollar on EK Warrior with those odds. So that's why I justify those odds. If you're not going to bet on it, you can't say they're good odds if no one's betting on it. So I will say that. And then when it comes to the skill level, like I said, I'm not saying he's unskilled, but he is a pressure fighter. And I think pressure fighters are going to be the ones that struggle the most at this tournament, where there's no ping, so you can easily immediately react to a punch being thrown. If you can Counter-Strike on 50 ping, that's 50 milliseconds. That means you're going to be 50 milliseconds faster on 0 ping. So people don't realize that. And because of those reasons, I think EK Warrior, I don't think he gets far. Like I said, for the EK community, I think a guy like Maceo, he has a much better chance than Warrior just based on their striking styles. But we'll have to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Satchmoe show. I won't see you in Vegas, but I'll catch y'all after giving out a post recap of the show. And that's the Satchmoe show, guys. I will see you in the next video.
Heat, 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 heat. I be selling that heat, heat. What you got on your